Hi there, it's Monday the 10th of August 2020 and we're going to start a new series this week looking at how to think about angels. I wonder if you ever think about angels, and if you do, what do you think about them? I'd like to read a story first of all out of Billy Graham's book on angels, which is a great book and I really recommend it if you're interested in the whole subject. You can buy it on Amazon, of course. Here's the story. The Reverend John G. Peyton, pioneer missionary in the New Hebrides Islands, told a thrilling story involving the protective care of angels. Hostile natives surrounded his mission headquarters one night, intent on burning the Peytons and killing them. John Peyton and his wife prayed all during that terror-filled night that God would deliver them, and when daylight came they were amazed to see that unaccountably the attackers had left. They thanked God for his deliverance. A year later, the chief of that very tribe was converted to Jesus Christ, and Mr. Peyton, remembering what had happened that night, asked the chief what had kept him and his men from burning down the house and killing them. The chief replied in surprise, "Well, who were all those men you had with you there?" The missionary answered, there were no men there, just my wife and I." The chief argued that they had seen many men standing guard, dozens of them in shining garments with drawn swords in their hands. They seemed to circle the mission station so that the natives were afraid to attack. Only then did Mr. Peyton realise that God had sent his angels to protect him. The chief agreed that there could be no other explanation. What do you do with stories like that? And there are countless number of stories that you hear like that. In fact, I can tell you a story of my own experience. Many years ago, I was doing some mission work, I suppose, in Egypt with a couple of female colleagues, and we went to this very out-of-the-way village during a time in Egypt when it was quite difficult for Christians. There had been some persecution against Christians, even some deaths, some killings of Christians during that time. And we went into this village intent on giving out some Arabic New Testaments, and a large crowd of people gathered round us, probably had never been visited by white Western people like us before. But as we produced the New Testaments, they started to get very angry and threatening and started to shout at us, and we became really afraid for our own safety. All of a sudden, out of the crowd, a young girl appeared, maybe 14 or 15 or something. And she had dirty blonde hair and blue eyes, completely different to everyone else who were dark hair, dark eyes. And she spoke flawless English and said, "Come with me." And she took us and led us away through the crowd, down some alleyways until we found this out-of-the-way little guest house hotel kind of place, spoke to the receptionist and set us up for the night. And then she disappeared. She left, never saw her again. I can only say that that was God protecting us and sending an angel to save us. You know, there's 5 different ways we can think about angels. Firstly, you can think it's all just make-believe. It's just like, Santa Claus or fairies or pixies or the Easter Bunny, just make-believe. Secondly, you can have a very sentimental thinking about angels. Oh, that person's so nice, they're like a little angel. Or somebody that's died, you say, well, there's one more angel in heaven, and you maybe wear a little angel badge or have an angel picture in your house. Thirdly, you can have a kind of new age spiritual understanding of angels. So yes, you believe they're real, but you can contact them through crystals or incantations or burning incense or whatever you do. Fourthly, you can have a Bible-bound understanding of angels. So yes, you believe that there are angels because you believe the Bible talks about angels and you believe they exist, but you have no experience of them in the world today. You have no contact with angels. You don't see their work in the world today. If they exist, they maybe just exist in heaven. And fifthly, you can have a biblical reality way of thinking, which is that you believe in angels, you believe they are real, and they are at work today in your life. Martin Luther says that an angel is a spiritual creature without a body, created by God for the service of Christendom and the church. In Hebrews chapter 1, in verses 6 and 7, when God brings his firstborn into the world, Jesus, he says, "Let all God's angels worship him." And in speaking of the angels, God says, he makes his angels winds, his servant flames of fire. So the Bible says that the correct way of thinking about angels is that they are real, they have been created by God, they are his servants, and they do his bidding, and they serve Christians in Christendom at large. I wonder what else we can learn about angels as we think about angels this week. Speak to you again tomorrow.